want to be drunk one way or another after this game. Because if you're sober and they lost, it's going to be a bad time.
I'm going to be pissed off.
So you want to be drunk. You just want to be drunk to start.
I was so disappointed and pissed when they lost to the Patriots last year. But I think that was that. They
needed that loss.
That was that Bulls playing against the Pistons.
Honestly, that's one thing that kind of gives me hope in them, just because I know that they've lost before.
And Mahomes is better.
And Mahomes has been there, and he got better. Like, honestly, I didn't even know how he was going to perform his second year.
Yeah.
And he's shown that he's all that more.
He's willing to take those short passes that last year he wouldn't.
And like ever since I watched him at Texas Tech, I was like, this dude is going to set the NFL on fire. I didn't think he was.
Oh my God! Here we go,
bro.
Here we go.
Negro dominance.
You didn't know one Texas Tech player.
Hey, you were not talking about
Negro dominance.
You can check my tweets. When they played Oklahoma and he threw like 89 touchdowns, I was like, I didn't think he was going to be 10th overall pick in the draft.
I saw that game and all I said was, it's the Big 12 football. They
don't play no defense.
Like,
not knowing that was your savior, that was your messiah right there.
Man, for real. Graham Harrell looked like Aaron Rodgers in college.
It was him and Baker Mayfield, though.
No, it was big time, but
that was probably the highest scoring game ever.
Ending up with these weapons and Andy Reid, and I'm telling you, the team is so motivated. It's like the Pistons when they were playing for Larry Brown. It was like, we got to win this.
It's like Giannis this year.
I don't think people respect Travis
Kelce enough. This year.
Nah, I don't believe that.
I don't think that.
This
I don't know, man.
It's going to be, we fighting for a different cause. So
Can I ask you something, though?
So is Giannis, bro. Giannis is fighting for the same cause.
Middleton out here winning. I'm just saying.
All right, hold on. You got a caller.
Cool. Hello, caller. What is your name? And tell us where you're from.
My name's Kevin Molina, and I'm from LA.
What's good, Kevin? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm stuck in the helmet outside. It's called LAX.
I was there on Monday. I feel your pain, bro.
But yeah, for those of you, go ahead. Sorry.
It feels like I'm in a quarantine zone.
That Uber Lyft situation. Oh my God.
But yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, this is Kevin. He came on our show at the beginning of the season. He's the host of the 49ers Hubcast for the 49erHub.com.
Ooh.
He's also a fellow Matador, CSUN.
No conflict of interest, just the lineage is strong. That's all that means.
So, Kevin, where I want to start, man, is you came on the show. You came on the show, man. 49er guy.
Clap for you. Hold on, wait. There we go.
And you told us you would be happy with 8-8. So,
how you feeling now?
How you feeling now, man?
What's good?
Pretty happy, obviously, with the way it turned out, and I'm scared shitless about Sunday.
Well, like, if they lose, did you really lose?
Man, see, that's the thing. I'd rather lose in the playoffs than lose in the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
So,
I mean, you guys felt it last year. I mean, like, there's no pain like losing a Super Bowl.
So,
wait. Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're a Rams fan. Remember, Kenny?
Hey, that's how you know it's not real. He was like, what are you talking about?
Hey, man, blank out that memory, dude. The Ravens.
I was blacked out at work. It's cool.
All right, so we have our boy here, MyKell. He's a Chiefs fan, and we asked him how the Chiefs will lose. So we're going to ask you the same question. How do the 49ers lose this game? What are you most afraid about?
If Patrick Mahomes is the best player on the planet, the 49ers will lose the game.
Okay.
That's pretty.
I got a question. I got a question.
Therein lies the problem, because unless Patrick Mahomes is the best player on the field, can the Chiefs win the game? And I don't think they can. I think they're an offense that, while they have a lot of speed, they're wholly dependent on Mahomes being Mahomes. And if Mahomes isn't Mahomes, then they're kind of screwed.
So what is it that you think your team can do to make him not Mahomes?
Well, you play keep away. It's like basketball. You milk the 24-second clock. With this, you milk the 40-second clock. You have those long 8 to 10 minute drives. You keep him off the field. You keep him off on third downs. You force him into situations that he doesn't want to be in, and then that's your best route to success, to be honest.
And what are you more confident in? Ahkello Witherspoon getting like beat in coverage for like the game-winning touchdown or a big play, or Bosa beating Mitchell Schwartz, who's like the best right tackle in football?
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Bosa primarily lines up on the right side of the defense, which would be against the left tackle. So I would take Bosa versus Eric Fisher over him versus Mitchell Schwartz, because since D Ford's come back, you're seeing that primary alignment where D Ford is on that side of the field.
And as far as anybody versus Mitchell Schwartz,
that's a tough game. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why you're going to see that. So you wonder if just having D Ford on the field and his speed makes it a little. That kind of gives Mitchell Schwartz enough problems where it kind of it deteriorates the inside. It's kind of his left shoulder. If we see some of those where they try to pull stunts there in order to use D Ford's speed as kind of a decoy.
And as far as, because you have Kittle, you have Samuels, you have Bourne, you literally have. Wait, did I really just say as far as again? Damn, I gotta tax myself on that one. I've literally said that 100 times in the past week, and I hate myself for it. But all seriousness, so as far as that front seven goes versus, shut up, guys. As far as the front seven goes and Kittle, what do you feel like is the biggest strength on this Niner offense?
The run game, and so here's fundamentally the thing. Everyone says, "Oh, Garoppolo's only threw 8 passes during the NFC Championship game." Well, when you're running 285 yards on supposedly a top 10 defense, you don't need to throw. And so when your biggest strength on offense sets everything else up, that's what you rely on. And that's where the Chiefs are the most vulnerable. You know, they're going to attack their safeties outside of Tyrann Mathieu. They're going to attack their linebackers because they suck. And you're going to try to all day long.
That's deep.
And I'm calling for what it is. Like, what's the weakest point of this? Like, if you take all the position groups across this entire game, or on both teams, the weakest group is the linebackers for the Chiefs. And that's not an insult to them. It's just, it is what it is. So that's what you attack. You attack via the run. You stretch them out. You force them into over pursuit, and then you try to hit them with the play action.
Hey,
and that's where Kittle becomes such a threat, is because who's going to body Kittle?
Hey, so Kevin,
Tyrann Mathieu, as good as he is probably giving up maybe 5 inches and about 40 pounds.
At least.
Facts.
Hey, Kevin. So I have a question, because I hear a lot of people when it comes to the Chiefs and their defense, and the narrative is just run the ball on them, and you can beat them. With the Chiefs already hearing that so much, and then seeing it firsthand from the Titans, what do you think is going to make it so much different with the Niners?
3 heads.
So the biggest thing, and the reason why you saw in the second half why they basically stopped the run, is because the Titans stopped themselves. They couldn't keep Mahomes and that offense off the field, so it forced them in this situation where they had to continue throwing the ball. They couldn't rely on Henry to run the ball. He only had 3 carries in the second half, and a lot of it had to do with the Kansas City offense being their best defensive weapon. Now, if the 49ers are able to keep the game, where they keep on the same kind of script where they can continue to run the ball regardless of the situation, then I think that's where you find yourself in that situation where they can continue to run the ball. Because I don't think the Chiefs defense stopped the Titans running game. I think it's the Chiefs offense that stopped the Titans running game.
And I think that's the toughest issue when it comes to Mahomes. For his career, out of his whole career so far of him starting, only 1 game has he scored less than 24 points. So it seems like that's what's going to happen.
I think it was versus the Colts this year, right?
Yeah, that was versus the Colts where he had no Tyreek, Sammy Watkins, and he was dealing with the injured ankle.
So which back do you like the most on Sunday? Who do you think is going to end up with the most rushing yards, because they've kind of been rotating really throughout the whole season?
Coleman's dislocated shoulder.
See, my first instinct would say Coleman, just because of how well he played versus the Vikings. But if you think about it, the strength of the Chiefs' run defense is Mike Pennell and Chris Jones. That's their inside game.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try to run at Frank Clark and try to run at Terrell Suggs and try to run at those perimeter linebackers. So I think it's a Mostert game, and I know there's some rotation and they could always change it up. But I think he's your best. He's been the most consistent running back they've had all year. So why stop there? Ride that horse until the Chiefs prove that they can stop it.
And I was talking about this earlier, but what do you think about the Niners receivers versus the Chiefs secondary? Do you like your advantage there, or do you think some guys are going to have to, have games outside of their character? What do you really take from that matchup?
So it's a little interesting because you have to think about it. Debo is kind of a half wide receiver, half running back.
Yeah. So
they get the ball to him in different ways, where they line him up in the backfield. They do those jet sweep motions, those end arounds. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a traditional wide receiver cornerback kind of battle. So it's going to be, how are they moving him around? If anything, it might be one of those games where Emmanuel Sanders, because of his experience being in 2 Super Bowls and his playoff experience and his ability to get open in various positions, I think we might see that kind of be where they try to exploit things. But I think Debo is going to get Debo's, because just the way they line him up is they line him up in a way where it's hard for defenses to kind of get a feel for where he's coming from.
And, I mean, that's why you give up a pick for Sanders, is for that exact experience in this sort of situation. Yep. So just to wrap it up on my end, what would it mean to you for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl? What would it mean to your family? Like, what are your plans if they do win? What's going to be your first thing that you do?
All right, so here's the thing. My wife is a Broncos fan. My brother's a Cowboys fan, and my father-in-law is a Raiders fan. None of them are really going to care. So I think they're just going to be happy for me.
Oh, that's cool.
What it'll mean for me personally, I remember when the Lakers won their first title and having that boyhood joy of watching the team that you love. I mean, I've been a 49er fan for almost 30 years. And so only having one Super Bowl in my watching lifetime, enjoying that, I just think for me it would be that amazing experience where you finally say finally.
And as far as Niners fans kind of disappearing like every so often, how do you as a true Niners fan call out the bandwagon fans who I feel like showed up 37 seconds ago?
No, I mean, you call it out for what it is. Yeah, I mean, I think you get a good feel via social media versus, jersey sales versus attendance sales. Who's a true fan and who isn't? You got to be honest. If someone just jumped on the bandwagon because they jumped on the bandwagon because they think it's a cool team, then you call it out for what it is. I'm sure you guys. I mean, Laker fans definitely know what I'm talking about. Dodger fans know what I'm talking about. Rams fans, the diehards are going to be the diehard. And support that. The rest of them, the bandwagoners, they have to prove that they're diehard fans, that they have to prove that they're willing to suffer through a 2-14 season, through 10, 4 straight double-digit losing seasons, through 10 wins in a 3-season span. If they can prove that they're on that level, then they're all good with me. But if they're not, if they're only here because they're winning, then it proves you're not really a fan. Because at the end of the day, fan is short for fanatic. And if you're not a fanatic about your team, then get off the damn boat.
And when you look at the fact that, they haven't really had much success, if you take away their Super Bowl appearance, with Harbaugh and everything, and ironic that Sherman has a beef with him, if the Niners do lose this game, who's getting their jersey burned?
No one. Because I think this team, outside, I don't know what the outside perspective is, but there's so many likable guys, at least from the sense that I get.
Solomon Thomas, definitely.
From other fans there's so many likable people that I don't think anyone's going to burn anything, that anyone's going to get mad. I think they're going to be just more sad and upset about the loss, but not take it out on any one person, unless they have like a Kyle Williams moment where they fumble the ball or they fumble a punt and it leads to the loss.
You're allowed to say that name?
I think it was fine. I remember that.